Oh, we got an important delivery today. It might just be the most important delivery of the season. What could it be? All right, we got it all unloaded, and this is a pretty darn important delivery. Drip tape, plastic mulch for our vegetable field. And I also purchased another 20 or 30 sweet corn tubs, just like the ones I have right back there. They're 1 3/4 bushel lugs, tubs, whatever you want to call them. And we can hold between 4 and 5 dozen ears of corn in each one. So every year I add a few more to the arsenal because some of my other ones that are yellow are falling apart. So we need to slowly replace them with new tubs. So I think we're gonna have an unboxing. It's gonna be kind of fun. Take a look at all this good stuff in here, but I'm not gonna do it right now. We'll come back here in another day or two, get all this plastic off, get it all sorted out and taken apart, and see what all we got. Well, I just received a second delivery. 2 deliveries in one day. It's been a long time since that happened. I think I just have one more delivery left this season, and it's all my seed from Rupp Seeds up in Wauseon, Ohio. You know, I've gotten a lot of the small stuff, like things that need to be started early in the greenhouse, but as far as corn seed and things like that that come in bigger boxes, I haven't received all those yet. So that'd be the final delivery, but yeah, we got all of our rolled pull and pack bags there on the bottom for you know, farmers market sales, and we got our clear plastic pint containers and quart containers for selling grape tomatoes. That's how we display a lot of our field tomatoes. Green beans are sold that way. You know, we sell a lot of the items in quart containers instead of bulk. We offer bulk sales as well, but you know, you can charge just a little bit more when you make the what they're buying more convenient to just pick up and grab and go. So yeah, just about have all our deliveries in for the year. Now we just got to figure out where to put it all. So I got a little piece of exciting news to share. Today we hit 2,000 subscribers on the Wishwell Farms Produce channel. Pretty excited about that. It has been a slow burn. It kind of took off for a few weeks last year when I said I was going to do my weekly vlog of farm life on our farm, and then I dropped the ball right when the season was heating up. But I am committed and determined to do 1 to 2 videos a week all summer long into the fall to showcase our entire farming season here at Wishwell Farms. So I appreciate you all very much for sticking with me, and to you new subscribers, thank you for checking out our channel, and I hope you stick around for the entire season. And one other thing I did want to mention about our channel. It originally started as the Jason Wish channel, just with my name. And that channel has about 46, almost 47,000 subscribers. And originally I was putting the farm videos on that channel, but I separated it out because that channel was focusing more on backpacking and kayak camping, RV trips, ultra marathon racing, just hobbies and other things that I'm into in my personal life. So that's why we separated the channel. But if any of those things I just mentioned interest you, be sure to go check out the Jason Wish channel. You might find some interesting content on there. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who stuck with me through last year into this year, and I'll do my very best to showcase our farm weekly or bi-weekly the entire growing season. So I forgot to show this in the last video, but I got stuck right here in my box truck unloading grape tomatoes and I could not get out. So I kept backing up closer and closer, the closest I could to the propane tank and this propane line going overhead here and the little exhaust pipe there. So it's a little more solid here, so I was trying to back up as close as I could to get a running start. I must have tried it 3 times and I finally was able to get out of this sloppy mess. I should have known better because we had a ton of rain the day before, and I was able to get to this point right here. And what do you think I did? Did I go get my Ranger to finish pulling it out? That probably wouldn't do it. That's pretty light. Did I go get a tractor with chains to get it up to the driveway? No. I decided to back on down the trail because there used to be gravel down this trail, and thinking that I could get a running start. I kept going back further and further, and before you know it, I was stuck even worse. So there's my box truck at the bottom of the hill. I'm hoping here in a couple days it'll dry back up enough that I can just drive it right out. After 2 days of no rain, even though it is misting right now, I was able to drive my box truck right out. It's amazing how much the ground firms up when it stops raining. So if you remember yesterday, I was talking about how I like to experiment on the farm a little bit. Well, I think I know what I'm gonna do in here. Let me turn that noisy fan jet off. So here's our 4 rows of grape tomatoes, all planted. And I talked about how I had 2 rows that are ready to be seeded for planting number 2. So what I've decided to do instead is plant these 40 plants that I have left over, which is about half a row. I went ahead and pre-soaked these coconut core slabs halfway down. Yeah, it's almost a little past halfway to right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant these 40 grape tomatoes instead of throwing them in the dumpster. That leaves me with 1 whole row and almost a half a row. So what I'm gonna do is seed determinate field tomatoes to trial in here, like I mentioned. I think it's gonna be a fun experiment. We'll see what happens. I think they'll do just fine. Hopefully they will thrive on the hydroponic tomato recipe that I have for the other greenhouses. I don't know why they wouldn't. So that's what we're gonna do. Probably won't seed them until about March 20, March 25. That's only about 2 weeks ahead of the field tomatoes. However, when you grow them in a greenhouse, they're gonna grow a lot faster. So even though they're only gonna be seeded maybe 2 or 3 weeks ahead of the field tomatoes, I'll probably be harvesting for at least a month on those before we start harvesting field tomatoes in early to mid-August. So that is the plan. That's what we're gonna try this year. And I'll keep you guys updated on the progress of those field tomatoes in here on the coconut core slabs. Well, I just unboxed everything that came on that delivery and went inside to edit the footage and realized my lav mic was screwed up. So here I am again out here doing a take 2, but I can't open it again. So I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown of everything that came on that delivery, talk about it a little bit, I'll show you what we had here. So let's start with what came on the bottom. This is the BioGold 2. It's a biodegradable film for laying plastic mulch on our raised beds out in our vegetable fields. We have about 10 acres that we lay that on. It works fantastic. We still do use a little bit of traditional or conventional plastic films, the 1 mil thickness. Well, I guess it'd be 0.0001 mil, whatever. And we use that on long season crops like bell peppers and tomatoes because you're picking them for such a long time. But short season crops like zucchini, cucumbers, melons, where we're only in a patch for a couple weeks and then moving on to the next patch, we will use the biodegradable film, and it holds up really well. I've been really happy with it. From time to time, it will start breaking down a little too early for us, like when we have a second or third planting that we're not putting in the ground right away or on the plastic right away. But for the most part, you know, it holds up great. And at the end of the season, the best part is you don't have to pick it up and dispose of it. Saves a lot of labor. It's just a big headache cleaning that up. If you ever have grown vegetables with plastic mulch, the conventional plastic mulch, and have had to pick it up and dispose of it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We'll pull the drip tape up at the end of the season and then disc that under, and by the next season it is completely gone. You might see a few shreds of it here and there, but for the most part it is gone. So fantastic product, highly recommend the BioGold 2. Some other things that came in this delivery are drip tape that goes underneath the plastic mulch. And I'll throw a picture up real quick of us laying this plastic mulch in our 10-acre field. And the machine we use, this bed shaper plastic mulch layer, lays the drip tape all in one pass. This machine is amazing. We've been using it for over 20 years and still does a great job for us. Something else that came in this delivery, more sweet corn tubs. I think I got another 30 or 40 of them here, I'm guessing, to add to our arsenal of about 250, I'm guessing, that we already have back here in the barn. And we can hold a minimum of 4 dozen in each one of these green tubs. If the ears are small, more like 4.5 or 5 dozen. And I know some guys like to use these green mesh bags. They hold 5 dozen, 4 to 5 dozen, but they're a pain to fill, a pain to stack on a pallet, and it's hard to cool it. The corn stays hot in these bags in the center of the pallet. But if you're just selling the day of or the next day, it would probably work fine. But we use these for our selling bushels of corn to customers. So I know guys that pick directly into these out in the field. Then you're dragging them through the mud and the dirt on wet days. It's just a big hassle. We much prefer the green tubs. It works great for stacking them in the cooler, rolling them in on the cooler on a pallet, forklifting them out right into the box truck for our farmers market. And now we have close to 300 of them, and that's what we need, because on a busy Friday morning, we'll pick almost 1,000 dozen. So we'll be filling almost 250 tubs, rolling it right in the cooler, and then right back out into the box trucks on Saturday morning for farmers market sales, because we're at 7 locations and we need about 1,000 dozen to spread around those 7 locations. All right, what else came? 2-inch blue lay flat. That is what we use to carry our water from our well down there out to the field. You can almost see some old blue lines. I don't even pick them up at the end of the year. They stay there, and then I just reattach them in the spring when it's time to start irrigating. And the 2-inch lay flat will take the water to our 1.5 inch flat tube. And then that's what the drip tape will be attached to, is the 1.5 inch flat tube. And we'll be getting into all of this stuff later on when we have crops out there and hooking up the irrigation. I'll show you all that stuff. So stay tuned for those future videos. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our farming content this spring and summer. We also got potassium sulfate. This is one of the ingredients in our recipe for our hydroponic tomatoes. So just need to take that down to the greenhouse. We got a whole bunch of it there, about 6-7 bags. And then we got some spray aid, just a buffer acidifier compatibility agent. It goes in the spray tank with the chemicals. We got some Nutri-K and some Nutri-Cal liquid fertilizers to spray on our vegetables. And that's about it, except one final item here. Scare Eye. We got 3 different styles of big inflatable helium balloons to help scare birds out of our cornfields. We've had some serious bird issues over the years. It's not every year, but I would say 6 or 7 years out of 10, we will have major bird damage, just devastation on several acres of our corn. And it seems to be early in the season. The first 2 or 3 patches of corn, they really get into it. And I swear they call all their buddies and friends in from around the county. I mean, there will just be hundreds of them out there. And you hardly see them. Sometimes you'll see the flock flying around, but they get down in the corn and they kind of hide there. And they know right when to get it, right when the kernels are starting to get milky and fill out a little beyond the blister stage, right before we pick it. They know when to get in there and they just tear it up. They only peck a couple of kernels on the top of each ear, but it's enough damage that you really can't sell it. Still be great for us to use, but it doesn't look good enough to sell to the public. at our farmers markets. So we're always looking for better ways to control the birds. I've used radios in the past when I was first getting started 20 years ago. That really helped keep the raccoons out, at least in that general area. We've used poison for raccoons before, but my son and our neighbor has trapped them so hard over the last 5 years. I'm talking like 400 or 500 coon, that the coon population is finally back under control around here. We don't really have to deal with the raccoon issues. It's mainly the birds. So I know there's cannons that attach to propane tanks. You can move them around the field to your patches of corn that are coming on, and that's supposed to scare the birds away. I haven't used one of the cannons before. Mainly just an avian bird soap. That's what we spray. So right when the corn is about a week from picking, we add this organic avian bird soap. It just smells like soap. And we put it in with our spray to spray insecticides over the silks for corn borer and European corn borer and corn earworm and all that good stuff. And that really does a good job at keeping, man, it's snowing again. What the heck is this? Isn't spring here? Come on. But the avian bird soap does a pretty good job at keeping the birds out of the corn. But if you do get a heavy rain, it does wash it off and the birds will come right back in within a day or two and can still wipe out your corn patch. So we're always looking for a better method to control the birds. So if you guys have any suggestions on a better method to control the birds, please let me know down in the comments below. I would love to try some more tactics to ward those birds off, because they can be bad. I know there is some experimenting going on in the universities with different colors of laser lights. I think it's green or lavender, I forget. But again, that's very expensive and it can only cover several acres at a time. But yeah, something about the certain color of wavelength of color or light or laser, I can't remember. It's supposed to deter birds. So maybe that's something I can try in the future. But yeah, this year it's going to be the scary balloons that I'll have to get a helium tank to fill those up and move them around the field to different locations. Well, I think that's about everything that came on that delivery. Oh, one more thing. We did get our final delivery of seed. I was going to show you real quick. This came from Rupp Seeds in Wauseon, Ohio. This is all of our sweet corn and green beans. And it was a full pallet. And believe it or not, they shipped that out UPS. I was really surprised. Usually when you get a pallet that heavy, it's probably 300 pounds or more, that will come freight. And I'll have to fork it off of a semi, but yeah, they delivered all that UPS. That could not be cheap. Well, that is everything that came on that delivery. Now I just got to figure out where to put it all. This is where we're going to end today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it and hope to see you again real soon down the farm.